we're alone. I'm only being a creep because Jay's about to go and get me Macca's. Yeah! So he just left and now we're alone. Anyway, the cats are in here, so they're going to be causing chaos in the background. Here we are at the second video for my channel. How exciting! It's been labor intensive and fun. I'm smiling without my eyes. I started to cry accidentally on camera. Anyway, look. I have finished my logo and I thought it would be really fun to take you, the viewer, through the the footage of my design process. So, yeah, that's it. Alright, let's jump over to my time-lapse footage where I'll do a cheeky voiceover. Don't know why, well, it might not be cheeky. I'm gonna do a voiceover. Might just do that take one more time. No, I'm not gonna do that one more time. We're gonna roll with it. Okay. So it's that time now that we go to the time-lapse with a voiceover. The bulk of the video. Okay. This part probably looks like I am just speeding it right up and ramping straight through it, but to be honest, these 2 pages here, there's not a lot going on. I just set out a very basic design brief for myself, did a little word map to get some creative juices flowing, and then I moved on to the evaluation of some typefaces. Now, it kind of looks like I have just an insane amount of typefaces. However, I just want to say, I did have a plan in my head. I just wanted to have some variance within that scheme, yes, that scheme of ideas, I suppose. Yes. So I just split it between serif and sans serif. If you don't know, serif is just with all the curly bits on the end, basically, and sans serif is without them. I wanted to have some potential modern versions of type and some potential artsy versions of type. So I had some kind of gothic, some kind of Times New Roman, classic style, some typewriter, just you know, some painty looking ones, just to get a general idea. And then I moved on to making the mood board, which I did not film the making of because I was processing the footage that you just saw, so I didn't have the camera available. Anyway, look, it was fun and there it was. So here's the next bit that I did, which was my observational photos, I suppose you could call them, because, you know, they're photos that I observed things from and drew then more things from. That's kind of, you know, I suppose that's in a way the definition of the observational photos in the design process. But these photos I actually took when I think I was in year 12, and that's probably about 5 years ago. So I just always have really liked these photos. I just feel like they have my personality, my identity as an artist just imbued in them, you know. I just love the mood. I think the composition's just good. I like the color version and the black and white version. You probably noticed that the black and white one is the one I've had as my temporary profile photo. And yeah, I just really like it because not only am I, you know, there with a paintbrush, but I'm putting the paint on me. Which, when I first took these photos and they were first entering the social medias just on my personal Instagram all those years ago, my mum had to tell me this story. She's like, this is kind of amazing because even when you were a tiny baby little tacker, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, my mum doesn't talk like this. She was like, even when you were little bubs and I gave you paint, by the time that the painting process was done, you had painted yourself. And she wasn't meaning like, you know, you accidentally get the paint on yourself. She meant literally I'd be painting myself. And I thought, oh, that's so strange that even after all these years, yes, I do that. I didn't even know that was something I did as a kid. Like, often if there's paint left over on the palette, I'm like, yes, I will paint my arms with this now, because this paint can't go to waste. So anyway, I've always liked those photos, and I had a real good picture of what I could do with them as a logo, and I just thought they suited my brand for my business. So now you can see I'm doing some media trials. That was the next stage. I pictured having those photos as a like outline version, not a photograph, so like a sketch, which is why you could see me tracing them over. And then I thought that they'd look pretty good over the top of some watercolor. So I imagined myself using some teal, like some blue, some greens, just basically a misty forest. And yeah, I went with that, just was getting a rough idea of how the colors gonna flow into each other, you know, trying some different techniques like the little blowing spider leggy bits on it, which I did not end up using, and eventually came out with this one that I was happy enough to go with for my rough full composition ideas. So then I photocopied it a whole bunch so I could do several trials. You can see I traced that there so I could then trace it again the right way around. Oh boy, so many tracings. I was pretty sick of tracing by the end of this. Anyway, it is what it is. So I just cut out the watercolor photocopies, transferred the image over the top, tried it with some different styles. I was pretty certain I was going to do just straight black lines. That's the word, lines. But I did try it with gold just out of interest, but I thought it kind of got a little bit lost. And then you can see me doing it with the hands. Yeah, so I'm not certain that I love the hand as much as the headshot, and I may still use the hand. You can see here I was doing a little sketchy sketch of a camera lens around the hand because I'm debating whether to use the hand or a camera lens style visual brand, not like the logo as such, but you know, just that sort of vibe as my banner and a cover photo on Facebook. Anyway, I was happy enough with that to move on to the refinement stage. So here you can see I was doing the font refinement stage. I got all my highest ranking ones, so 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10, and 9 out of 10 fonts. Put them all on the page next to me and tried to do some little sketchy sketches to make it a bit more my own. I was having a lot of struggles with this. I was like, yeah, these are okay, but they're not like, oh yeah, I'm loving that. That has a lot of potential. I was like, yeah, okay, try again. No. So, like, it doesn't look bad, but it just doesn't have what it takes. I just felt, I really did like the loose cursive, I'll call it that. However, I thought it looked a little bit wedding-y. One of the other ones that I really liked was where it had basically a outline version of the text with white inside of it, and then a bold black filled version of the text, and that was just a modern sans serif font. And I thought, I wonder if I could do that with cursive, which is what that one is in the top corner, and I hate that. Wish I could erase it from the thing. Anyway, Jay came in, my hubby, and he was like, oh, how's it going? And I was explaining it to him, like, I'm just not thrilled with any of these. Trying to explain to him what was going on. And I ended up going back to all the original font evaluation I did and went, hang on, these like Times New Roman style ones, just these classic ones. I really liked them, and every time I've looked through the book, they've stood out to me. So why have they not been highly rated? And I looked, and they had been highly rated, and I thought, oh, so I just missed them in my final tally. So then I trialed that. The other thing I really liked was the wide fixed spacing between the fonts, and then I was happy enough to roll with that, buy some licensing, and do the, I'm sorry, I'm just about to burp. Do the next bit. Okay, it happens all the time. For some reason, this eye's just crazy watery all the time. Some people will tell me to get that checked out, but I don't live my life like that, okay? Now, I didn't film the rest of the design process just because mostly I couldn't be bothered setting up the camera. I was feeling a little bit like, stuff it. Let me just do this. I don't have to film it. But also, part of that is because it's really difficult to get a view of what's going on the desk without me in it. I did my best, but it's a bit awkward. Excuse me. It's a bit awkward in this. No! You brat! I put that there because I thought it would be safe. Oh, he's just spilled my Pepsi, my full Pepsi all on the floor.
The cats are in here, so they're going to be causing chaos in the background.
That little mongrel. That's it. It's done now. That's all that was left. Well, This is what I get for thinking, yeah, it'll be so cute and funny because they'll like come on and off the screen. I'm not sure what I said about the camera already, so I'm gonna like cut and paste some bits and pieces and hopefully this will fit in. So I couldn't really be bothered setting up the camera for that reason, and also I was just feeling lazy. And I just wanted to be in the zone, you know? So the next part just involves me getting out the watercolor paints again and getting out a paper that's actually suited to watercolor paints. And I did a refined version of the background for, oh, I got a yawn. I'm so sorry. I couldn't hold it back anymore. Anyway. So I did a refined version of the watercolor headshot. Yes. And I was really happy with that. That worked really well. And then I did one for the lens, which if I do something with that, it will be for my dashboard banner or my cover photo on Facebook. After that, I did the refined version of the sketch overlay thingy, and that went really well, except for the lips. You would think that tracing a photograph, why am I American? Photograph, wait, is that Australian? Photograph? No, I think we do say photograph. Crisis alert! You would think tracing a photo would be simple and straightforward, and for pretty much everything it was except the lips. They just kept looking so Botox. Eventually, somehow I just managed to make it work, and I was like, oh, let's go with that. Cool, done. I just remembered. Then I had to photoshopping. Guys, me and technology just don't click. It's a miracle I get these videos done. Photoshopping? No. Honey, let me tell you. I have pretty much always been able to pick up generally any different kind of media and do it well, except for Copic markers for some reason. They're not my friends. And technology. That's why I'm so exhausted today, because yesterday was time to use GIMP, which is a program that is basically Photoshop but for free. And can I just say, I was actually so proud of myself for getting as far as I did. It was probably about 3 p.m. where I hit the wall and I hit it hard. Troubles ensued. I was enraged, but I did not want to be enraged, and it just came out as tears. But we got there in the end. I think I probably finished at 9 p.m. last night with Jay's help, and we got the thing done. Yes, and I have to tell you, I'm thrilled with the end design. Do you want to see it? I mean, you would have already seen it because I would have already updated my profile photo by now, but hey, here's the logo. Here it is. On the screen. Woo! Editing skills. No, seriously, I love it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I like the style of it. The drawing aspect of it just worked out. Mwah. The watercolor aspect of it just worked out. Mwah. The font, I don't know, is probably more boring than what I would have originally thought it was gonna look like. I thought I'd have one word would be really modern and the other word would be a bit more artistic than the font I've chosen. I just feel like it's a bit more timeless. It fits this time, but it's not bad and I don't think I could get tired of it. And sudden silence as my brain processes this. Oh yes. I got lost on my train of thought. So that's my logo. Yeah, it was fun, but also labor intensive because I'm only doing this as a on the side thing. I still work a full-time job, but I've had time off at the moment because I'm a carpenter and in Melbourne they've shut down construction. Thanks, Dan. Thank you for watching. If you're not already subscribed, I would love it if you could subscribe. That would honestly mean so much to me. No pressure though. I'm just saying if you do, I send you a virtual hug. Hopefully by the time I've cut and pasted what I have out of this footage, this will not be a super long video. I'm trying to keep them to just 10, maximum 15 minutes, so that they're just a little fun thing and not crazy long. And if you aren't following me on Instagram yet, you can also follow me on Instagram at Creative Being. Art, that's the one. Go to this. You can also unsubscribe if you like. Are we done? I think we're done. Well, thanks for tuning in. 34 minutes. Oh snap, we're gonna need to cut out a lot of this. let's end it there.